Mark,
Hey, Paul.
what's going on?
I was just looking back over how Absolute Batman is an absolute scumbag for what he does at the end of this issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Didn't see that coming. Man,
man,
caught me off guard.
exactly, exactly. If only he knew. If only he knew. We'll get into it. We're going to talk about all of it, and then Absolute Green Lantern as well. We'll do that right after this. Before we get started, don't forget to make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you're alerted whenever we upload new content. That's the little bell that goes like this. And leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. And we appreciate it. We read all of them. We reply to all of them. Let us know how we're doing. We got two Absolute Comics again this week. We have Absolute Batman number 18, and we have Absolute Green Lantern number 12. End of the first year for Absolute Green Lantern. Unbelievable.
Yeah, goes out with a bang.
It does. We're going to start with Absolute Batman number 18. The second part of the Poison Ivy reveal. Um,
Yeah, for those that came in late, last issue, he meets Poison Ivy, who's trying to take over the city. Him, along with the Gotham police, who are separately working their way up this plant infested building, fighting off all of her creations and machinations, while Martha Wayne has a conversation with Gordon about how she has to go tap into some shady old resources from her past, and it teased that it's associated with the Court of Owls.
yes, that's exactly where it ends. That's where it begins. We basically get Martha meeting up with the Court of Owls. Just the very first page, them actually meeting each other. They basically throw a hood over her and throw her into the back of a truck and
Yeah,
drive
it's
her away.
sketchy, right? She's out in the
Yeah.
desert walking, then the van pulls up and it's like, I got some popsicles, hop in. And they just throw a bag over her head and toss her in there. They look very paramilitary compared to like secret society in this.
Yes, absolutely. The only thing that really compares to what was in the major universe is
The
probably
beak.
their mask. Yeah, exactly. Everything else is very much, like you said, very paramilitary. So they drive off with her. We get the credits page, and then we go right back into the battle that the Batman is having with Poison Ivy.
Yeah, all of them. Because this poison
Yeah.
ivy, this crazy plant creature, John Carpenter, the thing esque thing, is able to plant spawn other versions of herself. Like she just like grow plant shaped like anything. So he's fighting off a bunch of plant, poison ivy shaped plants, and he's just got the two chainsaws hooked up to his suit, and he's just hacking and slashing away, trying to get to the real thing here while still communicating with Alfred, begging for a solution to this because it just keeps coming.
Right. We flash back to the creation of Poison Ivy and basically what is the heart of her. See what I did there?
I do. Kind of to the theme of the story as well with the last
Exactly.
issue.
Yeah. That basically she was just a heart at one point. Um,
Yeah,
and
was it a lab explosion or
yeah,
something in
exactly.
the
Yeah.
last issue? All that was left of this woman was her literal heart that's
Mhm.
hooked up to a machine, keeping it beating, with her mom not like really wanting to give up on it.
Right, and as she's as we see every time we see her, a little bit more appears on the heart, whether it's another like a little pod or something, or we can see a little stem that grows out of it. Every time we see the heart, there's another little bit that has grown out of it.
Yeah, the
Um,
lab started concocting with a lot of Pamela's research that she was doing with the bioengineering of plants and animals and stuff, and tinkered with the heart. And they practically grow her back from just that one little piece.
mhm. Back quickly to more battles between Poison Ivy and Batman. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty. Let me
Yeah, you
expand
get a good look at what Poison Ivy looks like. She looks like a pterodactyl plant creature woman. But yeah, like pretty wicked. He's just hacking and slashing away at it still. There's gonna be a lot of that. And she's talking trash to him along the way, saying, like, just breathe in these spores that I'm sending out. Let them mutate you, make you more, grow to your true potential, reach your vine up high. No one likes you, everyone hates you, you fail at everyone. The typical villainy kind of stuff.
exactly.
And it's flashing to his everyone kind of thing while she's having this talk with him.
Right, and she has also now managed to block any communication between him and Alfred as well. Um,
Yeah.
so we jump to another time where we see basically again one of the themes has been Batman going back to all of his old friends that he have now turned into all of these villains, whatever, and seeing what he can do to try to help them. And so he goes, from person to person to person.
It's kind of like a page
visiting-
spotlight of his failures. Like while she's beating him down verbally, it's like a visual representation of how he's thinking about how he's failed Waylon, who's living in the sewers of Croc, how Oz doesn't want to see him and he gets jumped by his goons anytime he tries. Edward won't open the door for him. Harvey's missing in action. He just feels like a failure. Maybe she's right.
Right. One of the things I failed to mention that is very important actually to the story is that on the very first page where we see Martha Wayne, one of the things she does is she's leaving Bruce a message. It's kind of important.
Yeah, I love you, honey, because she doesn't know how the interaction with the Court of Owls is going to go.
Right. But then we switch back again to more to more of Bruce against Poison Ivy. She turns into just these absolute grotesque, almost plant things, for lack of a better term, but they're pretty much plant. That's kind of like just a
John Carpenter's Poison Ivy.
A Venus flytrap on steroids.
Yeah.
Thing.
It looks like something out of one of them Resident Evil video games.
Yeah, exactly. We go back. We don't stay in any one place for very long in this issue. We're constantly jumping from quick.
Yeah, we cut over to Martha Wayne. She arrives at wherever their destination was, and it looks like an abandoned airport. They're at a hangar. Takes her hood off, and they criticize her, like, you're not supposed to call and contact us under no scenario. And she's like, yeah, but this is an emergency. And they respond, we don't care. You know what the consequences for this.
Yeah, her thing is the fact that I know that, and the fact that I did means that it's got to be that important. And they're like,
and their response is, we still don't care.
Right. Exactly.
You know the consequences for this.
Right. Back to Batman.
Well, that's to that point. That's why she's there. She's there looking for help for Batman. Like, there's something to this guy. The court needs to respond, needs to react, needs to get involved. And he pretty much says, well, if that's how you feel so strongly about contacting us over Batman, you can blame him for what comes next.
Right.
Because we still don't care. You know what's going to happen. I loved how consistent they were. They're like, they're hardlining these rules they have set up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should all just wear a T-shirt that says "We don't care."
We don't care.
Right.
And then the clicking sound.
Right. Again, back to more battle between Poison Ivy and Batman.
Hey, hit that first back to the battle page for me. I need you to weigh in. Third panel.
Okay.
What's happening in that panel? So you have Martha in the Court of Owls in the very next panel, or the very next page, I'm sorry, the third panel on that page, because this is where we go back to the fight with Poison Ivy and Batman, just the back and forth fight. What's happening in that third panel there?
It looks like he gets stabbed.
How many times?
3 times.
Where?
In the chest.
3 times straight through the chest, this man gets stabbed. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go on to ignore this panel, by the way. Like it never happened. I just wanted to put that out there a little bit. Come on, Nick Dragotta.
That's not Nick Dragotta. Nick. He didn't draw this issue.
He did not. That's right. It's a feeling. Come on, Conte.
Eric Canetti.
Come on, Canetti.
Yeah, but if you notice, never punctured the suit.
Man, but yeah, he clearly gets stabbed through the solar plex, through the gut, and through the top of the shoulder, clear as day, all the way through. Yoink.
Saved by his suit once again.
Saved him falling
out of space. Saved him being stabbed 3 times.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. And then we do a little montage page. Because again, we're just kind of the montage page are really referencing what Poison Ivy's saying the whole time. She's just trash talking him. Like, you wish you reshaped things just like I did. You blew the seeds across the city, but now you're afraid of what you've sown. Well, change is coming, whether you like it or not. And you get a flash to him on a construction site, a flash to Alfred behind the computer, a flash to the Harley Quinn gang coming to Alfred, a flash to Dick Grayson again laying down, talking to himself. Tomorrow, I'm going to do something.
Mhm.
You're kind of getting to see like the first city response to Batman being a known figure now. Like
Right.
he kind of battle. That's like his theme is how he's being perceived by this city. Was he ready for this kind of exposure, for this kind of this responsibility, really, for what's going to happen next,
Mhm.
whatever it
We
may be?
right. We see Bruce dancing as well. Um, so we see lots of things. I don't know if
Is
you.
that Bruce or Mr. Grimm?
Oh, good point. Good point. Good point. Yes, you're right.
Because it shows him while Ivy's
Right.
saying their leader, their Horn King, looking down and smiling from somewhere high above us both.
Hmm.
You're seeing the high class society. I like that
Marissa
it had the
understands.
checkerboard floor as well, like giving that the black and white checkerboard floor with the red dress woman, giving that Harley Quinn
Hmm.
theme to that panel.
Right. It's still Gotham. So
Basically,
steel and limestone, he says. Um, more battles between him and Poison Ivy. She uh, grows these massive mushrooms out of nowhere. Um, so, and
she's
that's where the
sporing
she was
hard,
she's
dude. She's
releasing the
sporing
spores.
so
She is.
hard.
She
And
is.
they show us a couple more panels of her heart slowly growing and how she didn't think she'd ever be alive again, but she slowly just blah blah blah,
Mhm. Yeah, she's pouring for him big time.
sporing for him. That should be on a shirt too. Sporing for him.
Yeah, exactly. Where's T Dubs when we need him?
Mm.
Um, get to work on that if you're watching. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Do we get a flash of how Bruce went to Gordon before going into this? He went to go see what's up with him. It has a pretty meaningful talk with Bruce.
Yeah, exactly. Basically says, "Yeah, I know who you are." And he's like, "Oh, how do you know that?" He's like, "There aren't too many 6'9" people around here." um,
And
so they
they're talking about again like the responsibility of being a savior for the city kind of thing. Because after saving the day a couple of times, now the city is like, "Yo, Batman, let's go!" And he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh." And Gordon gives him a little bit of a kind of like Pa Kent kind of moment, where he doesn't tell him what to do, he just kind of weighs in on things,
Right,
perspective,
exactly. So we know Bruce is apparently 6'9", 400 pounds. That is a lot. Um,
meaty.
that is meaty. 400 pounds, even at 6'9", he would look much bigger than he does there. Um,
Mm.
so, but anyway,
Yeah, they should never release a who's who for the absolute universe. It would be insane.
exactly.
Like with all the stats of all these characters, this tall, weighs this one.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that would be wild.
yeah. Because Wonder Woman would be like, 12, 12.
37 feet tall.
Exactly. Yeah. Or however tall she wishes to be.
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to tell her otherwise?
Right. Again, we see more things that we see actually we see Barbara Gordon
Yeah, she
arrive
catches up
now
with a wounded Batman.
to help with Batman, and so he has
She
the
brought the flamethrower.
exactly the infamous flamethrower, but we then also go back to the meeting between Martha and the Talons.
Yeah, they're telling her, gun to her head, "We're sorry. I wish you would have listened to reason." She's happy to disappoint, though, because she always believed the owls were never supposed to listen to reason. They stood
Yeah,
for something once. They were the ones who fought back from the shadows against the rich and powerful. So it's a whole eat the rich group, which is kind of a turn on what it is in the main universe when it's like a secret society of the rich. This is the I guess the secret paramilitary society of the oppressed. They're a bunch of proud boys.
right. Which basically says, but she says basically, good point.
They went from the Epstein class to the Proud Boys, just
Yeah.
like that. It's wild.
But she basically says, look, and if you don't believe this anymore, you might as well just pull the trigger.
And they said, "Yeah, they crushed us. He
They
crushed
said, we
us."
don't
So
care.
yeah, yeah. He kind of like hints at like that they went against Jack Grimm. The rich and
Right.
powerful, and they're responding to her saying how they once used to stand for something. With we tried, they crushed us. He crushed us. I can only assume that's meant to be Jack Grimm, the Joker, he's the most powerful, rich figure that we've been introduced to through the Absolute Universe and stuff. He said, yeah, changing. What does it say? but not by hiding or changing who we were at the core. If that's what we're about, you might as well pull the trigger, she says.
Right. Which is important because then we flash back again to more Batman against Poison Ivy, but then we flash again to Jim Gordon talking to Bruce Wayne, telling him a story about Barbara and her biology um, experiment, and basically came down to the way that you make a tree or any plant the strongest is by taking care of its roots.
So that's what Batman does with the little gun that he got from Barbara, which wasn't the flamethrower yet. This is the little EMP sound gun or whatever. He blasts her with it, throwing her off guard and everything, blowing up the spores with it and all that, kind of getting to her, and then having that last little brief conversation with her about like, hey, I need you to take out these spores. I'm going to keep hitting you. I want them all shut down. And she concedes.
Mm-hmm.
Poison Ivy says, fine. But you know what? I'll chill. I might have gotten a little out of pocket here. Might have taken things too far. I'm going to turn all these spores off. You win. And he says, cool. And then he shoots her dead in her physical heart that still remained, that was exposed during the fight, killing her, I think, maybe. But she screams, no, my heart, insinuating at least that there goes whatever little humanity she might have had. I don't assume that she's gone for good, but any real piece of Pamela Isley that was still there is gone.
Right. And it's a quick panel to panel for different between Martha Wayne and Batman against Poison Ivy at the same time that Batman shoots Pamela Isley, the Talons shoot Martha Wayne.
Which is funny because Pamela says, fine, I'll turn it off, XYZ, and Batman says, I don't care, and shoots her anyways, going against his word, against what he said. And then the Talons get a panel page where they do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we got to, Paul's got to ask you, is Martha Wayne dead, Paul, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I do think so, but I don't think she's dead because she contacted him. I think Martha Wayne, because she mentioned she was a Talon once.
Mm-hmm.
And we know about the Talons from the main universe, and how that influences my thought on this is I think that becoming a Talon again requires dying to rise again kind of thing in some form or fashion. This is the absolute Batman. So I think that there might be a Talon procedure that requires falling to be risen back up as the Talon. I don't think Martha Wayne is gone from this book, because that would have been the most meaningless meeting that's ever happened in all of comics. If she just went there to whine and they just whined in return and she gets shot off panel.
Right. But how much more of a dark side universe would it be for Batman to experience the death of a parent not once, but twice?
For sure.
You know?
And then it's happened with him with his parents dying in the main, plus Alfred dying later, and Jason Todd dying. Dude experienced a lot of death. He's died, hell.
But I'm talking about his actual parents. Not talking about anybody else.
Yeah. I think it's just building up for her to be the Talon. That's just my hunch. I have no reason to believe that. It's just my hunch.
And how much more tragic is it when he does in the final panel of the comic if she is dead?
Was she wearing pearls?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Then she has to be alive.
Okay. There's no pearls rolling around.
No pearls rolling around. That's the only way to confirm her passing, is if there's a pearl involved.
Right. So we get we get a couple things. We get Barbara.
Poison Ivy laying there like.
Yeah, she basically is a much uglier version of the witch from the Wizard of Oz.
She's wilted.
Yeah, she is wilted. So and Barbara really isn't even sure. She's like, Batman, you what happened back there? You destroyed her heart anyway, Batman. And then she basically tries to give him one of his masks back. She said to fight what's coming, I needed to evolve, and I just took her advice. So it's almost like, you know what, he is basically shutting himself off emotionally, it seems like, from everyone and everything. and that may be where we go from here.
Yeah, we get one more little check in with his buddies,
Mhm.
the villains, and some a delivery guy knocking on Oz's door and him screaming, "How many times I got to tell you, Bruce?" You see the Riddler clicking away at the computer, checking the video camera to see if Bruce is on his front porch and it's empty. You see the employee scraping off Harvey's name off the law office, but you see Waylon Jones in the sewer standing up from the water, back in human form. He looks a lot bigger than he did, muscular wise. He looks like he's 6'9".
Right.
And he's got, it shows his sweet cheeks. He's got some sweet cheeks now,
Mhm.
but he's not shaped like a crocodile.
Right. So again, furthering the fact that Batman is now, Bruce is shutting himself off from everyone emotionally. He's not going and visiting all of the friends that he used to visit on a practically daily basis. So now they're wondering where he is. And in fact, he is now towering over the city. He has his phone. He hears that there's a message. It starts, it's Martha's voice. And after she just says it's mom, he just says delete message and never actually hears the message that we know she left him, which is, um, for lack of a better to paraphrase, this is mom. I may not come back. Just know that I love you. Type of a message.
Interesting stuff.
It is interesting. But yeah, so we'll see where an even less emotionally attached Bruce goes from here.
It was a fantastic issue.
It was. It was. And then we have the final issue of year number 1 of Absolute Green Lantern. Starts exactly where every single other issue has started, it seems like, and that is in the black
With Oa.
With Oa, right? Oa calling out to Hector Hammond. Basically, Hector, can you hear me? I am the voice of Oa, Hector Hammond, voice of the Green Lantern. I'm the secret heart within every star. You must hear me, Hector Hammond, hear and have understanding.
And we have this is the first time anybody responds to the voice this way.
Right.
It just cuts to Hector. Shut the hell up. And he,
Yeah.
he just doesn't care.
He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, because we pick up with him with the helmet on, piloting Obsidian.
Mhm.
We have Todd Rice that's been infected with the black hand goo, and he's created Obsidian as a weapon to go after Joe Mullins, and he's piloting it with the Memento helmet that Oa has reached out through to Hector Hammond, and it's the first time he's tapped to Hector Hammond, and Hector just brushed it off like he doesn't care. He's locked in on getting the Green Lantern here.
Mhm. So we see, like you said, Hector is controlling Todd Rice, the Obsidian. But again, as all of these books do, we go years ago to Joe and Hal at a funeral.
Yeah, we get a little moment of them just talking about how Hal stayed in Evergreen and how she left, and she came back for this funeral, and how she's now separated, divorced, but not taking off the wedding ring. Just a couple little character moments, ultimately showing that they're still close, and where Joe's at after like the leaving town, getting in a relationship, cheating on, and all that stuff. And I guess what kind of ultimately brought her back to town. It doesn't really say whose funeral it is. I assume it's her dad.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think so.
But we cut back to the fight, and you got Cameron Chase shooting at Obsidian, and everyone running for their lives. And when she shoots at Obsidian, Hector rips the helmet off just out of an instinct of seeing someone point a gun at you, even though he can't be harmed, buying him a little bit of time. Him fussing and arguing and talking down to his staff, them warning of him of overusing this Memento helmet that we don't know a lot about, or its effects it can have on you, or what's happening. Take it easy, boss. And you're like, no way, no way.
Yeah, exactly. You don't understand. But then as we see Joe and Chase and Hal, suddenly it just stops. Obsidian just stops chasing them.
Yeah, and they make it to the roof. They got a moment to breathe.
Right. But it only stopped for a second because it's back. And it kind of busts through the roof where they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked. Already having claimed the life of Simon Baz's partner when it arrived, looking to claim more lives. And in the process, Simon got messed up. And we talked about in the previous issue, but he has to wear the mask for reasons in this. If he sees his own face, he dies because of missions, weird stuff in the past that we haven't seen. It was just told about. So he's wrapping tinfoil around his head, which I can recommend is a good idea. And while he's doing this, his partner was holding the Green Lantern ring when Obsidian got there and crashed the building and killed her. So as he's doing that, you see the ring lift up out of the rubble and take off through the hallway.
Speaking of the ring, we see Jo now making herself one with the ring, for lack of a better term, and basically she fights about it. She says basically the bad, the good, everything I am is in this ring, and nobody takes that away.
Yeah, then that's, I guess, the point of the little backstory they gave us,
Mhm.
the flashback with the conversation about her ring at the funeral, not wanting to take it off. On the roof a few minutes ago, Cam mentioned how she took hers off immediately. So they're just theming the ring coming off, because in this issue, Jo's getting the ring back on, powers up. As soon as she gets it on, turns into a giant fist and just goes wailing at Obsidian, which is super detailed, by the way. It looks fantastic. Look at that construct.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very nice.
So we see Obsidian fight back. We see Hector Hammond basically screaming insults, like "Eat it, Mullen." And so, but she says she's okay. Whoever's inside the monsters, basically, I'm taking him down. And then Hal suddenly
Big twist here.
becomes imbued with the indigo.
He's just levitating out of left field, and he can feel something, that someone's in there and we can't take them down. They need our help. We have to reach out, kind of thing. And he's able to tap in and remove Todd Rice from this obsidian concoction, which disconnects Hector Hammond. So he's the Star Sapphire now.
Right. Not indigo. Sorry. That's the Star Sapphire. Sorry. So many colors.
And we're just getting started.
And as soon as he does that, that actually stops Hector from doing anything, because he feels it as well as soon as Todd is removed from Obsidian, and he screams no. But we see Todd basically, laying there on the ground, and he says basically, I saved him. And then Simon Baz shows up again.
Yeah. They make a little joke about his head wrapped up in aluminum foil, which I appreciate.
Right.
And they all kind of pause in that moment, instead of celebrating their win and getting everything back together, they look up and like, oh my gosh, what is that?
Something you haven't seen in a while, but we've seen
floating
it before.
Above their head is a giant obelisk, or is what they call what do they call it? It's the Green Lantern.
Right.
And then some red glow appears behind them and says, "Lantern is a poor translation, Tomar Jo. A better word in your language is gun." Tamar Ray shows up and immediately says, "You guys want to help me destroy Mogo, who's on its way to Earth?"
Right. We're setting up the big fight.
Yo.
So, yeah.
Super cool stuff. Very sci-fi-y.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Al is really playing into the sci-fi, which is cool. And again, totally realigned what all of the, using all of the original things from the original universe, but totally realigning them, giving them new meanings, giving them, new motivations, all those type of things, which is great. So kudos to him.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it till after the fact. I didn't think nothing of the cover, but you got Star Sapphire, Hal Jordan on the cover.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yep. Huh. What do you know? But yeah, 2 great issues. Again, you can't go wrong. I'm not sure there is any issues next week.
Oh, off week.
Yeah,
they need to get their ish together.
They do. It probably is, and I just forgot. I know there's a week coming up where there isn't one. There's just
might be next week
reprints coming out,
because we just had Batman, and didn't we just have Batman and Superman last week? No,
Batman was this week. We just talked about Batman.
No, we have Flash next week.
Okay.
Unless it's gotten moved, it's listed for next week.
No, but I do know the next Absolute Batman got pushed off by 1 week.
I think we might be good then. I think that might be what saved us, because next week is Flash, the next is Wonder Woman, the next is Superman, the next is Green Lantern, The next is Batman. So
Okay.
I'm just spotting one at a time here. If I see one, I'm calling it. Then after that, it's Wonder Woman and March Manhunter. So it looks like we might be at least a title a week for the
Good.
foreseeable.
They can
There
keep
you
that
go.
up.
They
That
got
way,
their stuff together.
there you go. There you go. And we'll be here to cover it all. But don't forget, before you leave, make sure you hit that like button just below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted whenever we upload new content. And leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. But that's going to be it for this edition of DC Comics Deep Dive. I am Paul. He is Mark.
But we are Legion.
And you're now leaving Sector 2815.